Hey Siri, how do you say black in French?
In French, black is noir. Rose Noire.
We found each other on Clubhouse.
We nurtured a community that continues to grow.
We'll keep pushing forward for change.
We'll call things out.
We'll call people in.
We will lead with love.
We will not be silent or silenced.
We're here to fill your cup with conversation.
We'll provide individuality and thought.
Diversity of perspectives on a range of topics.
You never know who will join us.
Sit back and enjoy our offering.
Claudia,
Gina,
Jasmine,
Monique. We are
Rose Noire.
Rose Noire.
Rose Noire.
Rose Noire. Please enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, what's up? We are back for another week, episode 5. We are chugging along in Jenn's season 21. Sure, right? Wow, lucky 21, lucky-ish. We are back, and this is Claudia, of course, and we have Jazz and Monique with us, and we have 2 special guests. So we will get to them in just a moment. But of course, Mo, what is going on? What has been happening in the past 7 days since we last saw you here?
So I went to see Lucky Day with my girlfriend on Saturday. Amazing, amazing singer. If you haven't heard any of his music, tap into it. Discovered him from the Insecure soundtrack or something like that. And just amazing. We had upper balcony seats because they had general admission. When we went to see SWV, they had seats and floor seats down there. But this time it was just everyone scattered. And we were up on the balcony. But it was like the crowd was singing every song, all the high notes, just spectacular. And then my data has been going very well, finally. And today I substitute taught a lab for one of my best friends. And it was such an amazing experience. She has wonderful students. And I was nervous all day because she had given me the notes. And I was like, ooh, this is really intense notes. I don't know this stuff. But I ended up figuring it out. Because I don't know, I work better on the fly. And I try to connect and make eye contact with the students and tell them, hey, stop me if you don't know what's going on. You can interrupt me mid-sentence. I don't mind. And then I raced back home. Thankfully, this lab was much closer. The campus is much closer to my home than the campus that I usually teach at. And I am here today. So I'm feeling good. Oh, and my girlfriend and I finished all of Game of Thrones, the first saga of the story. I felt so bad because, it was a turn up all the way up until the end. And I let her know, I was like, listen, everybody thought it should have stopped at this point. So when we move forward, it's a mess. I'm just letting you know now, you're not going to understand anything that happens because I still don't. And this is my third time now watching it. Yeah. And she's still texting me
for nothing.
I'm still
I haven't seen it.
Why did they do this? Why did they do that? Why did they do this? So I'm not going to spoil anything, but she really, really loved the show.
9,000 hours. That is unbelievable.
She loved the show. That's crazy. And hopefully, yeah. Well, listen. And I can't believe that we stormed through 8 seasons of a show in a month. But yeah, we just, held hands and trauma bonded through all of it. And it was just great.
Well, before we get to Jazz,
we'll hopefully start House of Dragons.
No, I have to call you out.
Caught up into the end of season 2.
You tell me you don't have time to watch shows that I ask you to, but yet you have time.
We'll see.
900
so that's
hours.
That's my time.
Again, no.
How are you doing, Jazz?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Claudia.
I just want everybody to know No, the shows I asked you to watch are
What did I
trash,
do?
and they last about 4. There's 6 episodes, and they're an hour each.
Well, I think it's
So I'm trying not to be in my feelings because we have company. Listen. I'm just telling you
You got to get up for some of this.
that this is what you just said. You watched this
Yeah.
all the way through for the 3rd time. Thank you. Yeah. No. We aired our dirty laundry out in front of company. Jasmine, I'm much more interested to hear what's going on with you.
No, don't act like this when our friends are over, okay?
I'm doing it.
We'll talk in the back channels.
Oh my gosh. Well, the main thing that's been going on is my birthday was last week, August 1st. I got to ring in the month.
The main thing, girl. The main thing.
That's the thing.
It was like the main thing.
The main thing
What
is.
sign does that make you, Jasmine? What sign is that? I'm just kidding.
What's that?
What sign does that make you?
Wait, are
I'm
you
just
going to
joking.
the main thing?
I know.
I'm a proud Leo.
Oh, God.
And I'm proud of my age. I just turned 35. I'm happy about it. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh my God, I'm so old, or I can't believe I'm aging. I'm loud and proud about it. So
Don't you say it.
I am. So we got to, that day was a Thursday, so we didn't really do anything. But Friday, we had some friends over and had some food and stuff. Saturday, I lived my best millennial life. We went to a concert that was Yellow Card and Third Eye Blind. And when I tell y'all, it was incredible.
That's awesome.
I want to go to the Third Eye. I wanted to go. They were in Charlotte, and nobody here wanted to go with me to Third Eye Blind.
We were the last stop of their tour. Yeah. So they rocked out extra hard for us. And then Sunday, we just had family time. My husband baked an incredible lemon blueberry cake with cream cheese frosting. Oh my gosh, it was so good, y'all. And we just sat around and watched the Olympics and stuff. So it was a really good birthday weekend,
Nice. That is really nice. I'm surrounded by 2 Leos right now because Gina's not here to help represent Aries. Mo has a birthday coming up very, very, very soon. Very soon. I will be nice to her that day. I think I'll be over it by then. Yes.
Claudia, what are you up to?
I'm up to nothing. I was going to be in Portland tonight recording, but I'm kind of, while I miss it, I was going to be there doing a diversity talk, but I was also going to see a colleague of mine. Today's her birthday. Happy birthday, Anna. I was going to be there and we were going to do karaoke all night. Unfortunately, American Airlines canceled every flight. So, but at the same time, I think my body needed a rest because I temporarily moved to Vermont because work needed me to be there. So I was up there in the trees, more than expected. And so when I came back to my house, it was nice to come back to my home base because I had been there for, 9 more days than I expected. So it was just nice to come back. This past weekend, if y'all know, the Berkshires is in Massachusetts. So it's Western Mass. It's a place where Kripalu is, if any yogis are out there. But I didn't do that. Instead, I went and drank with my friends because 2 of my friends had milestone birthdays. So it's a group of close girlfriends. So we went and we hiked. And because I didn't come home, I didn't bring my sneakers or my hiking sandals. So I had to hike in my flip-flops. I did that. I did that. No, just and I did that, and I made it happen because I'm an expert. They're Crocs flip-flops, and I don't advise anybody to ever hike unless it's a flat. It's just because look, I have big feet, and I tried to get shoes, and I was in Vermont. This is they are outdoors people, and none of them had my shoes in size or anything. So I was just I told them, I was like, y'all, you can just hike without me. I'll just wait. I'll just go sit in the hot tub. We're at a resort thing. And they were like, no, you must come with us. And I'm sure it's totally fine. And I was like, cool. I almost killed myself once I slipped on a rock. Only one time. I did good. I did good. So I've hiked enough and I was like, I'm just doing it. I don't care. I made it through. So I had a good time though. It was really good. And we watched the Olympics together. And so that was really great to watch all of the amazing feats that were happening. So we were all really locked in. And so that was a bulk of what I did. I really enjoyed myself in Vermont too. It is a great time to be there during the summer. So it was good. But again, I'm getting ready for Moms to come in a couple of days, and she's going to spend the rest of the month with me. And she likes to have more fun than me. So we'll see what happens. So, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to jump to introduce our guests, first timers here on Rose Noire. So we've been following these ladies. They have a new-ish podcast. I think in second season.
Yep,
they're going to tell us all about it. They are the co-hosts of the Bachelor Buzz podcast. We have Julia and Arena. So welcome, ladies. Welcome. Hi. Hi. We're happy to have you here. We're excited. I'm really excited that we made this work. And so with all this estrogen love on this podcast, we're going to see what happens. We always love to stack it up. So first of all, so you all have been, like I said, second season recording for Bachelor Buzz. So how did you two, so did you know each other before the podcast?
We did.
How did you know each other?
Our husbands go way back. That's the funny thing. So, Arena, do you want to tell the story of like maybe how they know each other? It's so funny.
Our husbands met in high school, and actually they met in Spanish class.
My husband fluent Spanish.
And my husband does not. Still does not. And he used to, Julia's husband used to help my husband in class. I'll put it that way. And help him out and help him with, Spanish. And then when my husband and I were living in LA, we would always come back out to the East Coast to visit because that's where we're originally from. And that is where Julia lives as well. And that's when we first met you.
I think it was 2 months, maybe 3 months into my relationship with my now husband. I met Arena, Cinco de Mayo. We had the time of our lives, instantly clicked. And then she's like, okay, yeah, we're going back to California. I was like, no.
Oh,
But
wow.
later that year, I found myself in Santa Barbara, which is where they actually got married, right, Arena? And Arena was pregnant. But we hung out, the four of us, and it would, Arena is just one of those people where like we always clicked. We were always like instant friends, but so far and so seldom we saw each other. It's just like that kind of relationship. But yeah, and then you reached out to me because you knew I liked Bachelorette or like the Bachelor franchise. Like I watch.
So like we were saying, like I did not watch. So I watched the first season of The Bachelor way back when I was younger. And I just wasn't that interested. I watched the first season of The Bachelorette with Trista. And I was like, okay, I was rooting for her because she came from the first Bachelor. And I was like, yeah, find someone. And then I just kind of got bored with it and wasn't interested. Didn't feel like I saw myself. Didn't feel like I was really into it. So let go of it. And then Rachel Lindsay became The Bachelorette in 2017. And I was like, well, I'm watching. Like, this is someone I feel like I can watch and relate to in some ways. Watched her, saw her fall in love with now her almost divorced husband.
No, we don't.
Not gonna say his name.
No, we don't do that here. Not here. Not today. But yes, but we know what you're speaking. Is that Rachel was the Bachelorette.
She was the Bachelorette.
Yes.
I loved her season. And well, there's aspects I didn't love, but I liked her. I liked her a lot. And then I just lost interest again. So Charity brought me back in. I was such a fan. And I did not intend to watch the season. I just remember I was with my husband at his family's like lake house. This was last summer. And it came on and I was like, oh, okay, she's the Bachelorette. Okay. And I was watching and I really liked all the guys. I was a huge fan of Joey. Loved Dotton. They were my two favorites. So it worked out. And then I was like, well, I want to start a podcast because I started listening to pods like you guys. And I was like, well, I feel like I need somewhere to talk about this because I'm telling my husband about it and he's not really into it. So, and a lot of my friends
didn't talk to someone about this. I'm like, me, I can talk to you about that.
reach out. And my husband actually texted her husband and was like, hey, do you think Julia would be into doing this podcast with Raina? And your husband was like, yeah. So it's like, hey, reach out. This is history. So now here we are. And I love it because Julia is so great with like, there are periods that I didn't watch that she tells me about and helps me, like Caitlin Bristow, like all those seasons, like I did not watch and I'm trying to catch up. A lot of them aren't on Hulu, so it's hard to. So she keeps me up with that. And then we work really well together. We both have our strengths and we complement each other a lot. So
lovely. I love that. It's interesting because we sort of we had never met before in real life. And I think we still have some people who haven't met everybody in real life. This was a COVID collaboration, a labor of love, if you will. And I think Monique is our longest running viewer of the franchise, but I have definitely caught up since then. But not really. There's things I just don't care about. And then I watched the greatest seasons of all time. Yes, by someone who is, again, there's so many people that we can't name. But there was someone that used to host the show a long time ago. And then during COVID, they were like, let's recap some of these seasons. I was like, perfect. This is a great summary. I don't have to go through.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we don't talk about him either. But yeah. Awesome. Yeah, no, that's okay. We don't discuss him. That's okay. Yeah. So that is really cool. But do you find like in relation, right? Because you're talking about what initially bonds you besides your husband's relationship is this wackadoodle franchise. So do you find that you connect more like as your podcasting, do you find that you connect?
No.
Your connection has gotten deeper.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I mean, Arena was here for the premiere, which was amazing. It was like the universe just decided like, yeah, you guys really, this next season, you're going to be on top of it. She was in town during Jenn's premiere. And so of course I'm like, we're going to have a watch party, come over. And like, I mean, we had to like rewatch that thing the next day because we talked so much and we were just having so much fun. And we stayed up till like midnight or something. And that's a lot. We both have little kids. And that is another thing that bonded us. Like we both have small children. I'm a new mom. So Arena came to me when I was like, he just turned 15 months. So when she reached out to me, I mean, he was like, 6 months, 7 months. I was just starting to be like, all right, I got to get back to like myself, my vibe. And it was like, this really helped me pull myself out of that, like new mom, obsessed with my baby, like kind of not thinking about anything else. And now I'm thinking about all the things I used to love about like the Bachelor franchise and just having fun. And it gave me a reason to like kind of disconnect from that, not that I want to just, I love being a mom, but I do think it's important to kind of have that outlet. And I tell Irene all the time, like, thank you for pulling me a little bit out of that. And now look where we are. It's so fun. Just keeps getting more fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, that is awesome. I love that. And I love that you're able to connect. Jasmine has 2 children. How old are your daughters?
They are 8 and 3, 2 little girls.
Aww.
Yeah. And Arena, how old?
Crazy.
Yeah. How old are yours, Arena?
So I have a 5-year-old daughter starting kindergarten next week. And yes, and I have a 2.5-year-old son who's starting preschool next week, and he's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Baby.
Little boys
so
climb on everything. Yeah. So my son is, 2012 months old. No, I'm just kidding. He is 23 years of age.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's and it doesn't stop. The party doesn't stop. It just is a different level, but they always need you and you always have to be available, but it's less and less, but they're still always going to need you. So, so awesome. So that's very cool. So I love how that has come together. Have you been enjoying the season so far? Would you say?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No,
I would say, great. Yeah. I would say yes, but like,
why?
The guys are a little mad.
Yeah. No, you can be honest here. Totally brave space. Yeah, no, this is it's a shame, right? I think we talk about this and we're gonna probably get into it about because this moment for Jenn of getting to know just an extraordinary woman, her being the first Asian lead at all, and they're kind of messing it up a little bit, I think, with the men. Some of them are great, but but we will get into that. Yeah, we're all like, I feel like they did whatever happened with Charity's formula.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a shame. So we'll see what's up. We'll see what happens. But we're happy to have you here. We're gonna jump right into it, but we're gonna first take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about what's sour in our sip. And we are back. It is time for our soured sips. These are the things that you did not like about this episode. Claudia, who would you like to go first? I'll start with Jenn.
I know.
Okay. Mine are super quick today because I did not like this episode. So
the episode is the first soured sip.
That's my first soured sip, is that this was a boring ass episode. Nothing about it made me excited. There was no drama. There was nothing that pissed me off. Like, even when I'm mad, that at least is entertaining for me. This whole episode, I was like yawning. If it wasn't for y'all in the clubhouse, I would have turned this episode off. Truly. It was just not giving anything. Even the beginning with like, will he stay with Matt? Will he stay? Won't he stay? Even that part was so anticlimactic that I was like, I can't with this show. So that's my first.
Yeah. I was like, just go. Yeah. No, I get it. Is that your soured sip?
No, that's just my first one. My second one was the fake rain for the rom-com date, whatever.
The buckets.
The buckets of fake rain. And the real rain later in the episode was cute because it wasn't manufactured rain.
Yeah.
And I know that hurts too because I know y'all know this, but like when they have to do fake rain on a set, it's like coming down so hard and it's huge droplets. So it physically hurts. I'm like, this is not cute or romantic that y'all are making out and this rain is hitting you in the head. So did not like that.
Hard. Like she was soaked.
Yes.
So
the hair, the sequin dress in the rain. Like imagine
how sequins hurts. Like it all hurts. Yeah, it was not. It was weird. I was like, "Is this real?" Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then my last one is just how Austin leaving made Jenn feel insecure. And when she was saying things like, "Well, what if I'm not enough for Sam? What if I'm not enough for Devin?" That really, really bothered me because one man realizing that y'all are not going to be a good match doesn't mean that you're not a good match for anybody. So that really, I don't know, that made me really emotional for her because all of us feel insecure at some point, and it just really upset me that that particular man leaving just made her kind of second guess everything and everybody. So that made me feel for her. I wanted to give her a hug.
I had a question. So with that, Austin leaves. They're talking to her in a diary room or a, what do you call it? ITM in the moment. And they say, she's really, really sad. And they say, do you want to tell the guys this? Is that the moment? Because then it became a feelings dump. And then they were now mirroring back the, pouring into her when maybe they're not even really feeling her. There's a couple of them that are like, you're not the one, but they have to kind of, to stay in the game, to get the group date rose, which wasn't given. You have to kind of shower her with all of this praise that I don't know if it was like it didn't feel like an authentic capture of pouring into the lead for me. I was sad for her, yes, but I was just like, ugh. This process is supposed to build you up. It's breaking her down every time we turn around.
It's ongoing. Like the path to self-love and self-acceptance and all of those things. I think that she probably has some work to do there, but she shouldn't be like chasing after or hoping for some response every time. And so for him to leave and then her question herself, it's just sad. I really wish the vetting process could be a little deeper to make sure that we have people that are actually genuinely interested. Now, I get it. If there's no spark, then there's no spark, but it shouldn't be all this questioning and doubt. So I don't love it either.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
But that was it for me. Just those three.
Okay, cool. All right, Jazz. Look at you. Dare I ask Monique to go? Actually, I'll give you, we'll just pause. You look ready to go. So I'm going to go to Julia. We're going to go to Julia. That's what we said. Okay. And then we'll see. We'll check back with you.
I will start off. What soured my sip was when Devin said he would leave if Matt joined. I was shocked by that because Devin is supposed to be like the guy who's himself, who's like confident, who's here for her. And then to hear, her ex is here, well, I'm out. Mm-mm. Like, I thought it was strange, and I just thought it was very disrespectful to Jenn. So that soured my sip a lot because I was rooting for Devin, and now I'm just like, is he going to bail anytime anybody? You realize there are other people here. Like, who cares about Matt? Like, that there's a fantasy suite.
You didn't see the updates from the last week about Devin, it sounds like.
I did. So personally, I'm trying to like hold off on letting that impact too much of like my perception of what happens in the show. Because from what we know, she doesn't know at this point in the show. Although, what we know now about Devin, do we want to talk about it? Because that soured my entire bottle. That was horrible to read and learn about.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because 100% she doesn't know, right? Yeah. In this point, she does not know because we didn't know. Yeah. It was dug up. As usual, the Redditors or whoever dug this up.
He tried to cover himself by unfollowing accounts, but
yeah,
you can still see the likes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know people that like grew up one way and then they start thinking a different way. It's not saying like, especially people in 2020, some people lived and learned or whatever nonsense they said, but I mean, some people can change. It's not that. But in this moment, if I didn't know any of that, in that moment what you just said about his abrupt response to that and the way he reacted, I said, oh no. And in that moment, I was starting to see, he's not as great as possible, but just from given what we know about his liked, tweets or things that he liked on accounts on Instagram, that gave me already, like I had that in the back of my head as a bias, and I'm with you. Sometimes I try to be like, imagine in that moment, but it's too late for me there. Obviously, right? I already know you're a bigot. Right. I already know.
Oh yeah. And when we saw that, it was like, like it's just
right away. And he was quick with it.
He was so upset.
Then went back. Yeah. And the thing that really bothers me, I'm scared to death, is that she actually picks him because she likes him.
Yeah, I know.
She like those little kisses she was giving him. She is into him.
We've been saying he's genuine this whole time, but that just screams ingenuity. Like, okay, so you're not here for Jenn. You're here for winning or making. I don't even know. Like, he's only gonna like keep trying if it's like a level playing field. If there's someone who has more experience with her, then he's out. Like, it's just odd. Like,
see, but I read it as he would have been mad at production. Like, I don't think he was upset with Jenn if Matt had stayed, I should say. I felt like he would be like, how would production let this happen? That's how I read it.
Yeah, but it has
But even
happened.
still,
It
why
happened on
that
the
reaction? Like,
season.
I'm gonna leave and make her
Yeah.
suffer. If we're
Right.
really into each other, why
That's
can't I
true.
just trust? There's already other dudes here that she's into. Like, what?
Yeah,
You know,
it's a
he
huge
lost
risk.
it.
Yeah,
That's true.
it would be a huge risk to lose Jen over that. Because, like, if I was,
Mhm.
you know, had my front runner leave because of production, I mean, I'm not going to, like, continue to give him a chance, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, bye.
Yeah,
like,
I know,
17
Mo,
other
you
guys or whatever. Hmm?
exactly. Mo, you gonna say something?
When he said there are this many other guys that are into her, I was like, are there though? Are there? Like, which ones?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of them know that they're not, like, some of them haven't even had one-on-one dates.
Pro,
Like, stop
like,
it.
rioting.
They're mostly homophobic and
And
transphobic.
to be
Yeah.
more specific about Devin and the uncovered
Mhm.
old Instagram likes is sort of like when we're
Conspiracies.
digging up old. I always laugh when people are their old tweets get dug up.
Yes.
I always laugh. But these are homophobic, transphobic. Feel free to add in the characterizations just so that people don't know. Yeah, very ultra conservative views. Weird memes. We can use the coined word weird. Very weird shit. So we don't. None of those things are what we stand for or tolerate. It takes a lot of time to unlearn that stuff. So when he shows up to any men tell all or after the final rose, if he is the one, I don't want to hear anything about I've been reading and learning. And you too, Sam. And you too, Sam. So I'm good.
My sip was soured when Jonathan told us about his ex calling him manipulative and abusive. And I know it ended in a positive note. Personally, I would have taken that as a red flag. And I really like Jonathan, but I just feel like when there's smoke, there's fire. And I was very put off by that. It's like, oh, so we're just going to say she's crazy and like move on. Like, oh, she's an alcoholic or whatever. Like, I just think there's more to it. Why would he be in her house that long for her to like kick him out? Like, it's just, the whole thing was a little red flag. Yeah. Very sour.
To even bring it up, right? To even bring up a story, right? Like people know who you are, or they can start digging in your social media. They can figure out like, oh yeah, didn't he date such and such? Now you've added this person into the story, whether, if you're a good person and you have really like, you've actually overcome that, you would know better than to bring that person in. Yep. You are already without,
and we're only hearing their stories,
bringing them into TV.
We're only hearing their
people
side.
know who you are without being a jerk, even on TV. And someone saying, "Oh, Jonathan, wasn't that your such and such's ex?" So I think having all of that is really not cool to do. I agree with you. It's not okay to do those things, and then to imply that somebody is crazy or putting out their business. Oh, they're an alcoholic, or no, you can't do that to people. So that I would agree I really like him overall, but that is a little bit of a red flag. That's not taking a responsibility for how you showed up to someone else, regardless of your intention. So I'm with you on that. I hear that. Any others?
I'll leave it at that. I feel like those were heavy. I'm curious to know what everyone else. Sorry.
No, I'm sure you have some that you probably already agree with. We'll go to Mo, and then we'll go to Arena, and then if I have anything left, then I'll say something.
Okay.
I kind of want Arena to go. I'm still because I don't want to take any of hers.
Okay, good. Arena, you may go. That was a good idea. I had that thought too, but I was trying to make up for our fight earlier. So, so Arena, go ahead.
Okay, so I would say one of the things that soured my sip was how the guys always get upset every single time that any one of them takes time with Jenn, like on a group date. A lot of the time it's Devin, of course, but we all know what Devin's going to do. We know what he's about. That's his personality. He's going to take time with her. That's how this show works. You need to have time with the lead. So every single time these men, it's like, oh, there he is with her again. And it happened with Sam N too. Whatever with Sam N, okay. But last episode when he was taking time with me, like it was like, okay, well, he's getting time with her. He's getting to know her. He's showing her attention. She likes that. So I'm kind of like, can we just stop? Because they just seem very, I don't want to say whiny, but yeah, sometimes they really do. And I'm over it. So that's one. And then I had multiple, but I'll stick with Sam M in general. I feel like M.
He's just the sour sip. That's it.
Now, I will say he had something nice that he said to Jenn at the end of this episode. Okay. But in general, I feel like he always comes out with something negative. It's like when the guy Matthew was leaving. Matthew already was leaving. He already got rejected. He was just telling them what happened. And Sam N just has to dig it in. Like, just drill it in, man. Like goodbye. See you later. Like, I know.
Yeah, he was just like, why? Shut up. Shut up. You say nothing. This guy is doing it. Yeah, this was what you all wanted. And you're like, that's right. You better go.
Yeah. Like awesome men who I also hate him. I hate him.
Oh my God. I'm just like, she must be watching this back in horror.
Really?
Oh, yeah. This would be a hard one for her to watch.
Luckily, she left you in the past week.
But she really seems to like him. And I feel like she's grasping at straws when she gets any ounce of anything from him. It's like, oh, we're connected. Oh, he's here for me. And it's just like, no, you're just trying to make this happen because I think he's the type of guy she's been attracted to in the past. That's what she knows. And so she feels drawn to him. Obviously, there is a sexual, physical connection. We get that, but that's not everything. And I feel as though just
I think she just wants to try it out in the fantasy suites, and then he'll be gone.
Be the one to wrangle him in.
Yeah, no, I think she just wants to try out the fantasy suites with him.
She wants the physical connection with him.
She wants that. She wants that.
Can I say the uncomfortable thing? She wants to try out the toxic dick.
She loves it.
I think she's had a taste of it before.
Yeah.
And she's like,
I remember that was good. And so she wants that again. And I'm not mad at her for what she wants. But I don't think she wants to. I mean, I think she's smart enough not to marry it.
Yeah.
I just hope she has an opportunity like Hannah Brown did. Get her a windmill.
4 times in the windmill. I think she wants 4 times in whatever apparatus.
And the problem is
wherever they go. But I think
that's the problem.
I think I think Irina, to your point, because we've talked about this before with other people of color, when the moment of like you want to be desired, you want to be loved, and we're not usually seen as like the pretty girls because that's not like what's standard in it by American beauty standards, right? So I think if she probably is having this moment of this guy that would normally maybe not be attracted to her. We'll find out when he's on Paradise of what he likes. But I'm sure it doesn't look like then. But I think that she's probably like, I hope I want, because I've been there. I know when you want to be desired in a space that you're not usually desired. And there's something that feels good about it. But unfortunately, it's not long lasting. So hopefully she gets over this after Fantasy Suites. Or maybe she feels like a Caitlin Bristow and just like a one-off fling with Nick Viall. Like, I'm fine. And that was toxic dick as well. So I'm fine with it. Yeah, Julia, we're gonna add.
I was just gonna speak on like, you know, her wanting to be validated by someone like Sam M just does kind of play into that thing we were talking about earlier where like she has just like very small security, or like her insecurities are starting to come out more. And it just speaks more on like, wow, her self-esteem, like there's more work to do, getting too far with these guys who are not really, as you mentioned, filling her cup. Like she is wanting that validation, but really she needs to just know that she's worth it, and it's sad.
I mean, that's easier said than done. I mean, that's for all of
Definitely.
us. We all have those moments of insecurity and need the validation. But I do think that, in the end, she's going to, figure it out. But I think it's hard. But again, to Mo's point, if you don't have the right people around you, if you have the right people, you still go through those questions and doubts, but you're going to feel good about yourself. You're not going to be like, go deeper down that rabbit hole. You're going to say, okay, and someone will be genuine and reassuring you. He's just saying some phrases, whatever nonsense he said. I can't. Yeah. I'm tired. I'm done talking about him.
So I feel like in general, kind of related to the Sam M souring my sip is the fact that I don't feel as though they cast this show for Jenn, because I feel as though there would be more men in this cast that she could connect with. And so much that I've seen, I feel as though there's no one that I'm really like, yes, I'm rooting for them. Like, this is beautiful. Like, I love Grant, and he's going to be filling my cup later, but it's like, I have to relate it back to Charity's season. I'm sorry, because I loved her season. And there were so many great guys on that season. I felt like they cast it for her. Obviously, she's with Dotun, and he's amazing. They're going to get married. I feel like they're going to be together forever and all that. But we also had Joey out of that season, who was top 2. And I just feel like Jenn doesn't have the same type of group for her. And there's some good guys in there, but they're just not for her. And I feel like they did her a disservice, like we were saying before. Like they did her a disservice by casting this group of guys. And it's frustrating because it's so important, like you alluded to before, that she is the first Asian American bachelorette. She's the first. It mattered to have a really good cast, to have a great season. And I feel as though it's not her. It is production. It is casting. It's whatever that is there. So that was related to that. Can I do a part like you did last week? I heard
Yes, you can. You're a guest. Absolutely.
Just one more. So
yeah, no, of course.
My other thing is how Austin left. It was kind of weird. And I don't like how it made her feel. And like we talked about, there's still time for her to do some work and move through this. She's also really young too. So there's time for her to get through this, but it made her feel like she wasn't worthy and enough in general. And it just felt kind of like, oh my gosh, like that is, you are not, you're worthy, you're enough. And you don't need these men to tell you that, or just to make you feel better when this other guy just leaving, who we didn't even see her with very much, which I'm sure is edited with him. She never had a one-on-one any time really with her that we saw. So it was kind of like, Jenn, like, no, you're great. Well, those are my salads.
Yeah. No. Very, very good. Very valid points for sure. Mo, did you have anything else? Is there anything left to talk about?
Of course. I hated each and every date from this week. Is there nothing else to do in New Zealand or in this area of the world than helicopter dates or height dates? It's just very weird. But you go horseback riding. I'm sure they checked the forecast and knew it was going to torrentially downpour, and you don't reverse course. They don't want to sit under an umbrella in the rain and talk. That doesn't make any sense. Find something else to do. What are the other activities? Did y'all not have so you're telling me that The Bachelor doesn't have plan B dates? There's no plan C. My next one, I'm not sure what's going on with production and their conversations with guys that have one-on-one dates, or anyone who has a one-on-one date, where they say, you need to like open up and reveal something about yourself. They are revealing other people's business. They're revealing one-sided stories of bad relationships. They got cheated on. And I feel like it's an unpopular opinion. It could be an unpopular opinion for this episode. Grant sits down with her in his ITM. He says, I want to tell her what makes me me. And he tells the story of his father not really being a father and being drunk most of the time that he was raising him. And then he tells the story of his father now turning the page on that, is now 2 months sober, but that's now airing on television. Everybody knows your fucking business now. That you wasn't shit as a dad, because he said that. I'm using his words. They had to bleep him out. I feel like, these people don't think about the way that it affects the people in their lives that they have to come home to, or that they have to, they have to navigate the world with. Now, it does turn out sometimes to be a positive thing with Kelsey T and her father. They were able to overcome the trauma of her being shunned for religious reasons. They overcame that. That was beautiful. I had a hard time, because even in our Clubhouse room, it sort of takes sometimes, because I guess I'm watching it from a different lens, and everybody was positive about it, but then I came in and I said, this is not his story to tell. We don't know anything about Grant still. On his first one-on-one date in episode 5, and the guys are dropping like flies, right? She only probably has like 9 guys left or something like that. So there's just not a lot of time. I don't know anything about this man, but I know about the way he grew up. And I'm sure, yes, that did make you who you are. But what made you the man that you are? What made you sign up for the show, Ready for Love? What do you bring to the table? I'm confused. And time after time, every single person has this sort of very traumatic story that I'm like, so what makes you ready for Jenn? You told me that you got like cheated on, you have a broken engagement, and that's what we got. And that's what production is giving us too. So I don't know what else y'all talked about, but that's what they're giving us. So I don't know. It's hard for me. I'm sorry, Jasmine, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I think to your last point, what production is doing, I think that's a lot of it too. So we don't know if he did talk about how that made him the person that he is, because that could have been left on the editing room floor. We have no way to know. But then I do also think that production tells them, they say, this is going to be your one-on-one. This is going to be your one chance to talk to her. You need to be serious about it. You need to come with your most vulnerable thing, the most traumatic thing that has happened to you in life, and bring it up to her, because you don't want her to find out about it later. I really truly feel like those are the discussions happening behind the scenes. Not to say that it's right, but I don't think that it's necessarily every single one of these men saying, well, let me pour my heart out to her about some really sad shit that happened in my life. I don't think so. But then the last point I was going to make is, it's a really ugly thing, but this was actually under something that I liked about the episode, was that there were 2 different addiction stories. And I've had addiction really affect my life, and I really just liked that they highlighted it, and I really appreciated that they talked about the gravity of it and how it can affect other people in your life, because addiction isn't just you, it's the people that surround you. So I think it just hit really close to home for me. So I didn't come out of it being upset that he was airing out his dad's grievances, although I 100% understand where you're coming from. I just didn't think of it that way. I walked out of it like I had chills. I was like, yes, this is so true. Yes, there are people in my life that deal with this same thing. So I just wanted to give kind of an opposite perspective of that, because it, for me, was something that was a sweet soup, you know?
Yeah, no, and I respect that look, that aspect of it, and that you see it that way. And yeah, I I sort of just put a period there. I don't want to like like go on. Sometimes you can go on and you undo the good.
So, I've obviously had this impact me as well, in my life. My son has had, um, this impact him, not, somewhat indirectly, but directly. He hasn't had the issues, but, so I've had this situation too. So I was impacted. I mean, that was one of the things that filled my cup. So I can get into reasons why. Do get your point, Mo, but the same thing with Jasmine, because I think too, it is part of the reality. A lot of times, a lot of addicts and alcoholics understand, it's that they also haven't earned the right, even though it's like this man's story. I get it. But he may just be like, yeah, like this is part of his journey. And I do think that there was stuff that was definitely edited out. He strikes me as the type not to use this to dangle. Like, it's not like Thomas, remember, don't forget we're both Vietnamese. Let me remind you so that we can use this as a story. My God, that was a sour sip of mine. I was like, oh, I wrote it down and then he was gone. I was like, oh, that was great. That was great. I was like, thank God. And he's like, as if you don't remember, we're both first generation American. I was like, God, enough. I'm also first generation American, but I was like, oh, I relate too. Get out. But this here, because Grant strikes me as somewhat Babatunde, Chris Brown, reminds me that that was Nate. I was like, Nate, I was about to text him, but like, Nate, is that you? But I feel like he doesn't always open up like that. And I felt like it was genuine. Yes, production probably pushed him to do it, but I felt like it was genuine. I felt like it was like a not you, and like that he wasn't there to like, I'm gonna tell him my pops like this is messed up. Like I didn't feel like he was doing all of that, and I feel like it gave him some freedom. Like I felt like it was a genuine reason. It wasn't my filled cup side. I did feel like that opened up something because both of them kind of keep things in, and so it gave them the chance, and they had a very real conversation. The other side of that, I also very much relate to what Jen was saying, but I'll get to that when the time comes. But yeah. But I hear what you're saying. Some of the stuff they can't be dragging people in on TV about their business. So yeah.
And I'll just keep it short with my final one. What a missed opportunity for us to have drama that is delicious. Man, Matt, you might as well have just stayed at the fucking weddings and danced with somebody else's boo. You should have just been grinding on somebody else's boo at them fucking weddings. I was humiliated for him. Humiliated.
He's too nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
Nice.
he came out in a tux.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if
I
he's
know.
embarrassed.
And he
That
found
time
her.
friend, he just found her on
He was
Snapchat.
like, what country might she be in?
Allegedly. But Claudia, he also did TikToks. I heard he did TikToks documenting his journey to Jenn. That's what I heard on somebody's podcast. I can't remember whose, but like this shit is crazy. I'm humiliated for him. I'm humiliated for the show that they couldn't convince this woman to like let him stay. Caitlyn brought Nick in. That shit was so delicious for like 5 episodes. The hate and vitriol. Oh, we missed out. Damn.
I was like, what a loser. God, you just gave us more reason. Thank you. That was the shortest list I've ever heard you give. So ever, like on anything. So I love that. I was starting to write down a sour that like this Matt character who found her unbeknownst to anyone, he was able to find her all the way in New Zealand. I like, she was like, this touches my heart, blah, blah, blah. She was saying this. So I really was like, girl, I might have to give up on you this week. Is she going to keep him? this Matt character who found her.
Oh my God.
Unbeknownst to anyone,
Humiliating.
he was able to find her all the way in New Zealand.
I was so embarrassed.
And the fact that she let him go, because they put all the pressure on her, was good. So I was like, no, like, stop it. Stop accepting nonsense. So that was a big one. I said, that was pretty much the only thing. And I did write here, Devin showed his ass. That's what I wrote down. In that moment that we talked about before. No, not his real ass. He showed his true colors. He showed his, not the sheep. The sheep bothered me. I should have put that down. But he showed his true colors. And that was because I triggered immediately when he was like, I'm out. No, I'm gone. I'm done. So she did not see that. But that was like, I was like, oh, there he is. There he is. So anyway, so that was it. I'm sure we don't have much that filled our cups. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back and talk about whatever is left to fill our cups. And we are back with Bachelor Buzz. And we are about to talk about the things that filled our cups, all -6 of them. Yes, go ahead, Claudia. I'll go first. Thanks. So, yep. So, well, Austin's gone. All right, that's one. This is I liked her blue dress with the sneakers. I thought that looked cute on her. Yeah, he's out. I was like, who's this guy? He was like, well, that's whack. And I was like, oh God, another one with the black scent. I was like, what is this? Every week we have a new one. They must be reading from the same Urban Dictionary coffee table book, because I'm so over these. I'm like, why do they think they can speak this way? God. But I liked her little outfit when she was just frolicking for no reason. What a waste of a date. She had some cute outfits, you know.
Yeah, like cute.
Yeah, it was
no
cute.
shawls. No shawls.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So furry shawls.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Which is
talked
weird
about
because it seemed cold there.
Yeah, it's weird. The whole thing was weird. It's weird. Be normal, Bachelor. That's trying to go crazy. Unless
Stop
it's
trying
me.
to make shawls happen.
I did already say the Grant thing, you know, like when we were talking about the sour tips, because I did appreciate that whole conversation, actually. The date, the fact that she picked him. He might be also on her fantasy date list, which I'm not mad at. But because, yeah. But also her talking about dating somebody when you're trying to validate or trying to justify why you think something is racist. I've definitely been in interracial relationships before, and trying to explain yourself and having to seek that, you know, to feel validated. And someone is sitting there telling you, no, you're overreacting. We've had friends that do this. We've had family members that do this. But I know to be in a relationship with someone who's supposed to have your back, for her to talk about that, I was like, I love that she's talking about this. I love that I'm sure everyone of color talks about this on the show, but I love that they aired it. I love that they aired that part of the conversation because, and again, that was major. I resonated with that hardcore, especially through the last couple of elections, the racial reckoning that happened in 2020 in particular. Every time an unarmed Black person gets killed, having those conversations and someone's like, well, I wonder if they didn't flinch or they, saying something and you're like, are you kidding me? And feeling like you have to fight. You should never feel like you have to fight your partner for that stuff. So I love that she talked about that. Because I think even too, from an Asian perspective, a lot of people don't think about it. People think about it with Black and others, but they don't think about it with an Asian person trying to fight that battle. So I really love that she shared that. that was a big one for me, because I was like, oh yeah, I've done this like all the time, and I'm sure I'm about to do it for the next 2.5 months or 3 months, in particular. And the other thing, I really did like the date with Jonathan, except for him talking about that story, that kiss. So the rain part was ridiculous, but the kiss part, well, even with, so a side note about Grant's kiss, Grant looks really tall, and she looked like she did a lot of yoga, and she was in an arched while he was kissing her. It looked maybe uncomfortable. If you do yoga, which I appreciate yoga people, myself, yogis, she really was doing it. She was like, it was giving Olympics. It was giving, just arched her back. And he was, and she was
a cartwheel earlier. She's clearly same level an Olympian.
Yeah, she was right there. And she would win Olympic medals for kissing. She goes all in. She goes for it.
She likes to make it.
She did with Jonathan too. So that was all I had. She definitely like sets the tone. She takes the lead with kissing. These men don't know how to kiss. And so she like leads them into a deep, but she leads them into a deeper kiss. Some of them are tongue kissing her. It's like, what's going on? You can't be kissing all of them men like this. You got to explain this to your maybe fiance. So some of them ask, can I kiss you? And she's like, no, don't do this. And then, can I walk you out? Okay. I'm going to be quick. So, I actually love the fact that there was no group date, Rose, because who were you going to give it to? That group date was horrendous. And I loved the fact that it was that horrendous. I love the little sheep.
They probably smelled.
They came around the thing and they were just hopping. Just, oh my gosh. And the men didn't know what to do. The dingleberries, that was what in the hell? Unreal. There's nothing to do in that country, apparently. They didn't even go to the farmer's market. Like, give me another farmer's market. I like farmer's markets in different places. You get to like try out weird cheeses and exotic things and, cow penises and whatever. So I also love the fact my cup was filled with no cocktail parties, because you don't want anything to do with any of these men. Don't want anything to do with any of them.
I loved that.
No, because you're going to try to tongue kiss her and she doesn't want to tongue kiss 6 of you all. Get them out of here. Like, no. Of course, Thomas going home, humiliating. He like the land of Delulu, the land of utter Delulu. And crying, like you didn't even. But remember, wasn't it last week where Kelly said that the girls that she knows that went on dates with him, he's exactly the same guy. He's no different. That's the tea. My final one. She says to Marcus that she can rely on him. And I too rely on Marcus, so I felt that in a real way. And he is just, I don't like the previews. They're not looking really good. I turned it down to like a 2 and I could still hear a little bit. And I was like, oh, Marcus, what the fuck going on for real? Damn. Bachelor. There we go. Him or Jonathan?
So filling my cup was just Grant because, I do like Grant and he's in my top 4 at this point. But just the fact that, like, they finally did a one-on-one date and I was waiting for that to happen to see if they could connect. And, they definitely did. It was nice when they were horseback riding. And I think it was nice how he did open up and talk about his experience with his dad growing up. And so she got to learn a little bit more about him. And then with that, she felt like they were similar in some ways, even though it was a different story. She felt closer to him. And just all the things that they talked about, which you guys have already mentioned, just her, I feel like her really, talking about or mentioning the racism and everything. She hadn't done that with any of the other guys on the one-on-ones that we know of. And I think it's because she felt comfortable with him to do that. And also because honestly, maybe because, he's also a person of color. He's a Black guy. So maybe she felt like, oh, I could tell him this and he'll maybe get a better understanding of it or kind of see where I'm coming from. I feel though that like he's falling in love with her, but I know I'm kind of skipping ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he should have told the group that, but I think it's that
it's okay. That's all right. That's okay.
That was not a good thing. But I like that he's feeling that and he's in his feels and he's so like, he's falling in love and it's just a beautiful thing. So I really like that. And then I don't really know what else filled my cup. There's things that like, yeah, Thomas and leaving, but I don't know. That stood out to me because this was
not player.
This was a little tough for this day, for this whole episode. Player. The whole Jonathan thing was a little weird and
me too. Same. Well, I was thinking about Grant, so sorry. I was going to say something inappropriate, but we can't do that.
It fills your cup.
Jazz, why don't you go? And then we'll end with Julia.
So I loved, and Julia mentioned this briefly earlier, but I loved that short black sequin sparkly dress that she wore. I thought that was beautiful. I haven't really loved all of her choices fashion-wise this season, but that one was one of my tops. I thought that was just beautiful. And then in the light, when the light hit it, it just shimmered so beautifully. I loved that dress. That was, I think, the first time this season that I've thought to myself, where did she get that? I want it. So shout out to that dress. And then my only other one is, and Monique sometimes makes fun of me because sometimes what fills my cup is so oddly specific, and this is one of those. But whenever they're sitting on the couch and she's laughing at, oh my God, what's his name? I confuse Spencer and Jeremy all the time. I'm so sorry for these white men.
Guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But go ahead.
One is gone and one is.
Oh no, they're both still there.
I loved it. I love
that. And she's laughing. And he's like, what are you laughing at? And she's like, why are you petting me? And then they talk for 5 more minutes. And he starts petting her again. And she's like, why are you petting me still? I don't know why that cracked me up. So that filled my cup. That I laughed so hard at that.
Is it the old looking one? Because we all enjoy someone rubbing their hands in their, my hair is short now. Rub your hands all through my hair. Love it. Don't fucking pat my head. Ever. Oh my God.
Oh, that cracks me up so much.
I love that she called him out.
Yes, exactly. Because she straight up was like, I don't like that. Stop doing it. And he did stop, but you could tell he just like subconsciously was doing it again. And she's like, I thought I already told you to stop. Oh my gosh. My goodness. Anyway, just those 2 things. I told you mine were quick this week.
No, that's good. That's good. And we'll wrap up with Julia.
Okay, so the things that filled my cup, honestly, you guys have hit on a lot of things that I have on my list, but I'll save one, and it was all for the group date.
It was my strong
I love that Sam M was boasting about his farming experience and that he lost to Devin, who barely did anything. That was the producers.
Trash. But Julia, the production told them 2 old people that have been married for 45 years, in order to troll the men, give it to Devin, who did nothing. You just make the men really angry. That filled my cup.
I know. I just love that. I was like, even yeah. I loved that.
So good.
And then exactly. And then those the same couple when they called them all out and said, "There's not a lot of like collective intelligence here, is there?" Because they didn't know to open the gate. Where the sheep go? Come on, Sam. But you're hurting sheep somewhere. Like I don't know. I just laughed at that guy, the man's like statement. I was like, oh yeah, I think that's the main issue here.
I'm curious of
They
how
didn't open the gate.
the hood that Sam M was farming on.
They were very vague, but they were vague with their directions. They were super vague.
Accent on the farm.
And they
What
didn't
farm
point
was
out
that?
where the gate was.
I'm curious.
Streets of Compton, they have farms.
Eventually, yes, at some point when we stole it from the indigenous people, but he's from Myrtle Beach. He's not even, no. I'm just so confused.
Yeah.
I have so many questions. Was that everything, Julia? Was that the final one?
Yeah. I mean, I was happy that Thomas N left. I love Grant. That's it. Ooh. All the same things we already kind of touched on.
All the theme.
Yeah.
Thomas leave and Grant.
I did think she'd keep him on word production. Would keep him on a little longer just for one final stupid
I
thing
think
for
this
him
was
to
a
do.
little longer. I think this was too long. I think they were all done. They were tired.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough.
But I was looking at Date Card. I was looking at Jenna's Instagram stories, and she said that when Thomas hugged Sam kind of smirked as his I was like, damn, he don't even fuck with you like that. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy that Thomas N left. I love Grant. That's it. All the same things we already kind of touched on.
We had a celebration in the clubhouse room.
He
Thomas
smiled.
Celebration.
He did.
He's so trifling.
I clocked it.
He's so trifling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas N was playing for all the wrong reasons. Really just for Sam.
Thank you both, Arena and Julia from Bachelor Buzz. We are so happy to have you on. I'm sure this is not the last time that we'll have you on. This was so much fun. And we will all struggle through next week. And but listen to both podcasts next week. So for now, signing off, this is Claudia.
I am Monique.
This is Jasmine.
And we are Rose Noire. And we're just chilling in the coconut trees. Bye, everybody.
Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms found in the show notes.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Join us for live discussions on Clubhouse at the Rose Noire.
A special thank you to Ahmad Fielder for our amazing theme music. Follow him at infrared_crypto on Instagram.
We are
Rose Noire.
Rose Noire.
Rose Noire.
Rose Noire.
See you next show.